This episode is made possible with the help of our friends at Deep Eddy Vodka. Hey everyone, before we get going, I do want to give a shout out not only to Deep Eddy for their support of this series, but also to the amazing and some of the best mixology minds in the industry. Big thank you to this episode's guest, Tony Abou-Ganim in Las Vegas, Caitlin Smith in Austin, Texas, Ben Potts and Guy Yaroshi in Miami, and Lynn House in Chicago. Here's to raising a glass, hopefully in person soon, to many more of these episodes that allowed us to shine a light on these amazing people in the beverage community. And if you've tuned into any of our Beyond the Drink episodes before, you know I love Deep Eddy Vodka. It's smooth, it works so well in a cocktail, and their flavors are real. What do I mean by that? They are all made with real fruit juice, whether it's grapefruit, lemon, peach, orange, whichever you choose. And it is all American made in Austin, Texas. Here's what I also love about Deep Eddy Vodka. They work with quite a few different charitable organizations in their community. One of those is the Sims Foundation. This is an Austin-based nonprofit that provides mental health and substance use recovery services and support for musicians, music industry professionals, and their dependent family members. They also work with organizations such as Folds of Honor, a nonprofit that helps provide the families of fallen and disabled service members educational scholarships. Cheers to you, Deep Eddy Vodka. To learn more about Deep Eddy, go to deepeddyvodka.com. Deep Eddy, we thank you. Hey everyone, I'm Cappy and you're listening to Beyond the Drink, a production of Beyond the Plate. Beyond the Drink is a short segment where some of the best mixologists in the country explain the fascinating stories and recipes behind their favorite drinks. It's the Beyond the Drink finale episode, everybody. This week, we're talking one more time with the great Tony Abou-Ganim. Tony is widely regarded as one of the pioneering and leading bar professionals in the world. He's the author of The Modern Mixologist, Contemporary Classic Cocktails, and a second book called Vodka Distilled. He's won 3 Iron Chef America competitions pairing cocktails with various Iron Chefs, and he has a signature branded line of modern mixologist bar tools, which grace my bar cart at home. To get this recipe, check out the episode notes in your podcast player or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. Please enjoy this episode as we go beyond the drink with Tony Abou-Ganim.
Hi, I'm Tony Abou-Ganim. I'm the founder of The Modern Mixologist here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and partner at Libertine Social at Mandalay Bay. And I got a really fun drink I'm so excited about because it's a specialty drink that was created for the new Allegiant Stadium where our Las Vegas Raiders are playing. And hopefully one day soon fans will be sitting in the stands and drinking Big Fonzie. So the Big Fonzie is a nickname, a Raiders nickname, and just a fun drink. And Andrew, you know my style. I don't want to get too esoteric with drinks. I want them to be fun. I want people to enjoy drinking them as much as I enjoy creating them. A drink that I've been drinking a fair amount, because I love vodka. I love the vodka category, is the Negroski. It's a drink that I didn't even, when I wrote Vodka Distilled, I hadn't even discovered the Negroski. But really, vodka version of a Negroni. So equal parts Campari, vodka, and sweet vermouth. And I'm making myself one right now. I wish I could make one and share it with you.
Gosh, I wish I could make one too. I was going to give all the listeners a heads up. You're hearing him make this kind of in real time. I love it. Keep going.
Oh, love that sound. Got some of this beautiful Modern Mixologist barware here. So I'm just stirring this simple drink. And I mean, the best drinks are the simplest drinks. But this is, again, as Mencken would say, there'll never again be an original drink, just a twist or a riff on a classic. This was inspired by the Negroni, and it inspired me to make the Big Fonzie. Again, Campari and vodka. And a fun thing to do, it's really good with an orange or citrus vodka, so you could even twist it up a little bit. I'm using a straight vodka. We have our Campari and Cointreau. As you know, Campari loves orange, fresh orange juice, Campari and fresh orange juice and a Garibaldi, simple drink, wonderful. Campari and soda with a slice of orange, again, simple, beautiful. So with Cointreau, I will use those interchangeably quite a bit or together, the Cointreau to soften and complement the Campari. And then to play off that note again, I use a blood orange puree. In the wintertime, when we can get fresh blood oranges, I'll use that. But if I want to use it year round, Perfect Purée makes a really lovely blood orange puree. And then just fresh lemon sour, which is just my 2 parts fresh squeezed lemon juice to 1 part simple syrup equation. Any drink that calls for a sweet and sour, that's a perfect recipe. And then we just shake that. We spritz it with some ice cold soda water and go Raiders go.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. So I'm sorry, I want to take a step back. Is the Negroski Negroni made with vodka?
That's exactly right. And then
I don't think I've ever had it. And as a vodka lover myself, I'm shocked that I haven't had it. But I think I'm going to skip right to the big Fonzie here and kind of dig right in. You talked about Campari in some of your past episodes, which I'm a huge fan of. But Cointreau, explain. It's a liqueur. Is it a liqueur or a spirit? It's a liqueur, right?
It is a liqueur, 40% alcohol. So, and I love high proof liqueurs. A lot of the domestic liqueurs that are artificially flavored, they're at a very low alcoholic strength. It's almost like a flavored simple syrup at a certain point. It's you could say the original triple sec, French, based on a beet sugar spirit, distillate, and flavored with 2 different types of orange peels and then sugar to make it a liqueur at 40% alcohol, 80 proof. It stands up in drinks. Probably, to the best of my research, was the original orange liqueur in drinks like the White Lady, the Cosmopolitan, the Margarita, the Sidecar. So a great heritage of drinks that feature Cointreau, and my favorite orange liqueur to work with, and I use it in a lot of my original drinks, like the Big Fonzie. When you say spritz with chilled soda water, like literally, I'm always hearing like a splash of this. Is this different than the splash? Well, I love the word spritz. I think it just makes a drink happy, and I agree. Anytime you're making a drink with carbonation, even a simple highball with spirit and carbonated mixer, you want to make sure that you're using the small bottles. I love the mixers from Q. They've got a really high carbonation. Make sure it's ice cold. And when I say spritz, for instance, I've shaken all the other ingredients. You never want to shake a carbonated beverage. And I'll pour that from the mixing tin of my Boston shaker at the same time as I spritz with this ice cold soda water so that the bubbles actually mix the drink from the bottom up. If I just splash it, it's soda's sitting on top. And I have a little saying, spare the spoon and save the bubble. So you don't want to overstir a carbonated drink. Otherwise, you lose the tickle. Spare the spoon and save the bubble. There's no better place to end the Big Fonzie than with that. Tony, you're amazing. As you know, all the mixologists throughout the season have been sharing or shedding light on different organizations that they want to raise awareness for. You so generously shared a couple earlier in this season. Is there the same one or another one that's continuing to do great work that you want to highlight? Our Helen David Relief Fund, which I set up in 2010 to benefits bartenders and their families affected by breast cancer. 5 years ago, I started Team Negroni. And, it's just a coincidence that the Negroni is my favorite drink. And so Team Negroni is a bicycle team. And Campari has been a big supporter of us with the team. And every year we do bicycle rides around the country, generally in conjunction with the United States Bartenders Guild. This year, unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to do everything kind of virtually. And I set a goal for myself. I said, I'm on a quest to ride 1,000 miles during Breast Cancer Awareness Month for Helen. So starting October 1, I started my quest, and I finished with 1,002 miles, 0.94. Not that I'm counting, but I'm an overachiever, Andrew. And we raised $50,000 for the Helen David Relief Fund during October.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's incredible work. I know you talked about them, and I think it was your first episode you did back in November, December, if I'm not mistaken. So glad that you're continuing to do that awesome work with that foundation. Let's do a quick speed round before we close it out here. First question, what pisses you off behind the bar?
What pisses me off behind the bar? It's not my job. Anyone who says it's not my job pisses me off behind the bar, because Helen instilled in me when she taught me early on. She said, never ask anyone to do something you wouldn't do yourself, and lead by example. So even after 40 years behind bars, I'll get behind the bar, I'll polish glassware, I'll cut fruit, I'll do whatever needs to be done. And if I ever hear those words uttered, oh, I can't take out the garbage, that's not my job. I like, well, you're probably in the wrong job then.
Yeah, love that one. What makes you happy behind the bar?
Bars I've spent all my life in bars. Like I said, I spent the last 40 years of my life behind bars. And what makes me happy in bars is the hospitality that it brings, that it offers. We are in a very social industry, and our job is to put smiles on faces. We can talk about crafting amazing cocktails, but if you're arrogant, if you're pretentious, it's not a great bar. The bar is all about hospitality, making our guest day better when they leave than when they first walked in. So putting smiles on faces is the best part of the job.
That's amazing. And I did not want to disrupt the flow, but your answer for what pisses you off behind the bar of it's not my job, early on, many years ago, when I first asked that question to Rachel Ray in her episode of the podcast, I think she had the same exact answer when she used to work in, restaurants or these gourmet markets growing up, and she would have interns from different schools and ask them to do something. The minute they said, it's not my job, she said, is the minute they were out the door.
Yep.
So, yeah. Tony, thank you again. It's been a pleasure to hear all these cocktails from you throughout the season. If this is your first time listening to Tony, everybody, I encourage you to go back and check out his episodes from earlier in the season. As always, sir, it's a pleasure to hear from you, and I look forward to continuing to make your cocktails at home.
Well, Andrew, and I look forward to one day soon sharing one of those cocktails together in person.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Find more on Tony Abou-Ganim at themodernmixologist.com. To get this recipe, check out the episode notes in your podcast player or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. This episode was produced by myself, along with Ian Cohen and Joel Yetton. Find me and keep up to date with this podcast across all social media platforms at On Cappy's Plate or go to beyondtheplatepodcast.com. Beyond the Plate is on all of the socials at BT Plate Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on your listening site of choice. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Drink, a production of Beyond the Plate. I'm Cappy.